Hello, it's Ricardo and welcome back to Warhammer Dawn of War Definitive Edition. This is patch 2.1.0. We read the patch notes so you don't have to, and then discuss what they have fixed and what they haven't. Hello everyone and welcome back to Warhammer Dawn of War, where they have breathed new life into the old Dawn of War franchise with their definitive edition. Even though this game has been around since the early 2000s, there are still several problems. Certainly problems around crashing, and that's caused an awful lot of community frustration. Today, this update, as they state, will include cases where the cursor would fail to stay locked to the game. Heavy stuff. Unit pathing issues with large vehicles. Also, it looks at improvements to hotkey modding and camera controls. However, there's an awful lot of community issues around crashing, game stalling, all this sort of stuff. They say there's rare crashes that have been addressed as well. We're going to dive into these patch notes. We're going to go through them so it saves you reading them yourself. Now, Relic have been saying that players have been diligently reporting issues, and why wouldn't you? And here's the web address where you should continue to do so, and they encourage you to do so. So, what have they fixed? They've fixed numerous cases where the lock cursor to the game would fail to stay locked. Well, there you go. They fixed several crashes that could occur while custom badges were transferring while loading into a multiplayer game. I don't think that's really going to be the major issue, but they've fixed it anyway. They've also fixed an error where Windows could detect the game was unresponsive during longer loading times for scale multiplayer games, and also two rare crashes that could occur when a loading menu screen was causing the game to stall. There have been many crashes as well where the vehicle would get stuck. Apparently that's been addressed as well, and also the jump with assault squads are also bugged as well, and they don't jump, and that could even lead to a progression issue within the game. I mean, okay, support is really good here, and they're addressing the problems. They want people to have the best experiences they possibly can, but there are some major problems with the game that really need to happen. There's been several problems that have been addressed in regards to auto matching as well, for you to correctly find those matches, and also fix several causes of desync across multiplayers that could lead to a crash when leaving a match at the end. Now, rare cases where certain players would be able to load into the game without a player profile, that would then lead to errors. That's been addressed, and character speech now correctly plays when the game language is set to Russian. So for you Russians, you're okay. Next up, they've also added additional messaging and logging to help diagnose certain players being able to connect to the R-Link servers. And they do say, any more problems, continue to go to that same link I gave at the beginning of the video. They've disabled resource sharing by default during automatch and removed Fortress 3-player from the automatch map pool. There's also been a couple of exploits where too many resources are refunded when cancelling buildings under construction, and cases where large vehicles such as dreadnoughts would become stuck in cliffs when multiple units were pathing at the same time. I have had that issue. It's exceptionally frustrating. Also, they've looked at an issue where infantry units would be frozen in place for several seconds when pathing alongside friendly vehicles. Not had that one, but also fixed a data error that was causing Space Marine Force Commander and Imperial General to use voices that did not match their unit. A little bit like a badly dubbed Bruce Lee movie. Also, frequently playing sound effects for the Tau Barracudas, and looked at Winter Assault Order Mission 2 to prevent hidden Chaos units from triggering a fall condition, or a fail condition. I think it's fail condition. I'm going to say fall condition anyway. And also they've added unit occlusion to the Sisters of Battle and Dark Elder buildings. They've done some work as well on the user interface on ultra-wide monitors. That's pretty good. Haven't got one myself, but I have no friends who do. And they've fixed several cases that would cause hotkeys not to be displayed on the HUD. A lot of work around camera controls as well. But the camera controls are one thing. It's fixing the actual gameplay is what people are looking at. Also, art and animations, there's an awful lot of work to it, along with stuttering to the game, and therefore its general performance. That's been addressed as well. With modding, mods that have the legacy UI images will now be able to correctly replace the Definitive Edition updated assets, and also mods that are packaged with additional mods inside them will no longer fail to open. They're looking at high priority known issues and are targeting another update for this. That's going to come early in September. This being a late August patch we're talking about here. One happened last week that hit a number of issues, but high priority issues, which they're stating, occasional network errors, game settings are not displayed when browsing custom games, map names are displayed as missing symbols, grid keys, army painter colours not being used when playing auto match, squads with a jump or teleport attack can appear partially complete, and also they're looking at the capture points. Also, they're not visible in the shroud. Units don't correctly unload from the Dark Elder radar, and the test stats.lua is not correctly being written on the match end. So they're looking at additional patches. Another patch for modding, target early September, and another patch after that for additional reported issues. If you've got a problem and you think no one else can help, get yourself over to Rare on the patch link that I'll put in the description and register your issues. Looking at the community comments, however, it's a lot more than that. People are talking about achievements. People are talking about, are they going to be added to Steam? Is that really important when the game is really falling around its ears at some stages? And some people are having a really bad experience, resulting in them having to go and get a refund from Steam. And that's crazy stuff as well. There also seems to be problems with Polish characters. There are also problems with the sacred artifact building for Space Marines. The glowing effect by the artifact on the building is going out of bounds, so the glow looks like a large flat surface. People are still banging on about the mouse cursor. They really do. And it's a problem with some of these higher resolutions. And let's face it, there's an awful lot of crashes still going on for people, and it is compromising the experience. Anyway, September, more updates. Let's see what they fix. I've been Ricardo. Thanks very much for watching. Enjoy Dawn of War if you can load it, and if you can run it. I'll see you soon.